So, Coach, the biggest question everyone wants to ask you, punting. We all love punting. How has Caleb been like this season?
So I'll tell you what, he's had an unbelievable offseason. And I say that not to put pressure on him because I don't want him to feel pressure, but he has come so far since I got here in January. And it's everything, right? It's technique. We've adjusted some things for him, got him a little bit more confident in some areas, worked on his hands, and all that stuff's a byproduct then, and it leads into your performance. And that's what I'm so excited about for him, to go out there and prove all the work that he's done to show what he can really be.
He talked to me about last year about not having the season that he really wanted to. I mean, what do you think he's done so far, and what have you seen from him to show that he will be a lot better this season?
I think right there you just said it, like he's eliminated expectations. I think for all football players, especially specialists, you have to eliminate expectations going into it because there's so many unforeseen things that are going to happen. And obviously we all have expectations for good to happen, but as we know, like in football, good's not always going to be the result. And when you have those expectations, now it leads to letdown, and now that's added pressure. And so for him, I think he's eliminated some of those expectations for himself, and he's just going out there and focusing on every single day in that process and allowing that to take over for his results.
Look at someone like Upa. How important has he been at long snapper, just for not just Ben Saul's ball, also Caleb as well?
Huge. He throws a really light ball with a good tight spiral, so it's a very catchable ball. And he's really consistent. And again, I think for the specialists, they see how hard Upa works every single day. He comes in the building, he's here all the time. He's always watching film, studying guys. And so I think for the other guys, they see that, and it's a calming thing. They don't ever have to worry about the snap, and that's obviously how you want it. And that makes me excited for the unit.
Looking at someone like Ben Saul, people seem to have very high praise for him regardless of maybe last season. But what do you think he's done so far in the offseason that you've been impressed by that you didn't see when you first came here?
He's enjoying being on the field every single day. Because Ben's a fierce competitor, and I know that's not a term that's usually thrown around with specialists, but he's a fierce competitor, and he wants to be the best. He wants his team to be the best. He wants his teammates to be the best. And I think sometimes for him that almost is a distraction for him, and then he allows that to go out on the field sometimes and affect his performance, because then he hits one bad ball and he gets super pissed off at himself. And so he's actually this summer, like, I'm on him all the time, but man, relax and enjoy this. Because at the end of the day, for him, this is it, right? And so no matter what happens, don't worry about what happens after this. Just worry about enjoying today, because you're so talented. And like I've told him, he's had some ups, he's had some downs in his career, but all of that makes him the best version of himself. And that's so important for a specialist, because there's going to be ups and downs and ebbs and flows, but to have those experiences to be able to fall back on, that should be a reassuring thing and allow you to enjoy the process.
Looking at the kick return and punt return, who are the guys that you've seen that have impressed you the most in terms of returning?
Yeah, we got a really good open battle right now at punt returner. Kick returner, obviously Kenny Johnson's got a pretty good stronghold on that. I'm excited about that. And there's some other guys that, like Tyreek Robinson's a guy that's fearless and can really go. Obviously Che, Devin Whitlock, Keontae Mumpfield, Des Reed's another guy. He's lightning in a bottle. So you have a lot of kick returners there, options. And then punt returner, Kenny Johnson's done a great job of taking that role. That's a big job. That's something that we talk about all the time as a punt returner. It's one of the most important jobs in our special teams units, because you're talking about not allowing the ball to hit the ground. Our number one goal is to lead the nation in punt return attempts. I want an aggressive guy back there that's going to field every single ball. And naturally, the more returns you have, there's probably going to be some explosive ones sprinkled in. And so he's bought into that because he's an aggressive dude. Keontae Mumpfield's another guy. I've talked with him about Bayless Jones when I was at Tennessee. He was not a punt returner. And the year we were there with him, we put him back there as punt returner, and he's all SEC Special Teams Player of the Year, and that's a big reason why he gets drafted by the Chicago Bears. And it's just another way to make yourself valuable in the National Football League. And so that's something that's been a conversation with Keontae Mumpfield, and he's bought into that. He's worked all off season and caught a lot of balls. He caught over 130 balls this summer that were charted, and so excited about him.
Was it hard for Coach JJ to let you use them guys so much?
No, that's the thing. No, because that goes back to the alignment of the staff. We know if we want to dominate fourth down, then the best got to play. And for him, and at the end of the day, if you're a dude all the time, right? If you're a dude, you want the ball in your hands, and because that's an opportunity for you to make game-changing play, and that's what we preach to our guys, and that's the mindset I have. We're going to be aggressive, and we're going to fly around a football field, and that's what he's been, and the guys buy into that.
What do you see as the way so far this
Yeah, again, like just really a wholesale change mentally for him. Like he's got a lot more confidence in himself. He's got a lot more belief in his technique. That's been a big thing for him this offseason is spending time understanding the whys behind what you're doing and having those conversations with him and studying film. And because of that, now he can quicker fix things, right? Like he can fix things a little bit faster for himself, which is great.
From your experience as like a special teams coordinator, is it going to be difficult for a player to have a tougher season and then bounce back immediately in the next season? Or how would you approach, or how are you approaching that, like the whole, hey, last year was working the radar, during this season?
I just think getting guys to believe in themselves is always, that's one of my strong suits as a coach, right? And that's our job as coaches, right? Like, it's our job to make sure that guys believe in themselves and then put them in positions to succeed and know that, and let them know, like, I've got your back always, you know. And I think for him, that's been a reassuring thing for him. It's allowed him to go out there and be a little bit more confident, cut it loose, and not dwell when he has a bad ball, you know, and be able to correct that much faster, stay as neutral as we can. You know, we do a summer book report with the specialists every year, and we read "It Takes What It Takes" by Trevor Mollett, who passed away, but you know, and he obviously trained Russell Wilson, who's his mental coach, and it's a phenomenal book talking about like neutral thinking and how that, you know, correlates to a specialist and how important it is, because we got it in our room. Like as specialists, we got to go out in the field and perform regardless of the prior circumstances and results, and regardless of the current circumstances. That means weather, that means all that stuff. We're going to play in bad weather games at Pittsburgh. That's okay. Like, at the end of the day, our football team's relying on us to go out there and do our job, and I think it's the more that we think things through that way, it sets us up for success in the football field.
Yeah, I mean, and you have an unconventional job being a special coordinator. How did you first kind of get into the job, and how do you think you've changed as a coach in working with specialists and special teams on an everyday basis?
Yeah, so I played quarterback, and anyways, long story short, I get hurt at New Mexico, and I wanted to be a student assistant coach. And so I'm thinking I'm going to be the next Cliff Kingsbury offensive coordinator, and I'm walking down the hallway, and Derek Wareheim grabs me. He's the tight ends coach, special teams coordinator at the time, and he grabs me and says, "Hey, I need a guy to help me with special teams." And obviously I'm 19 years old. I'm like, absolutely. But in my mind, I'm like, I don't know anything about special teams. And that was the best thing that ever happened for me in my career, because special teams is something I truly have a passion for, because you're developing a relationship with every guy on the team. You're coaching every single guy. And again, it's about effort and technique. And that's what I was as a player. And that just pours out of my soul every single day. And that's why for me, special teams coordinator is not something because I'm a young coach that I'm doing. I'm doing it because I love it and I want to dominate. And that makes it fun, you know, to be around guys. And so, and for me as a coach, what it's done is it's helped me become a better position coach too. Because I've had to adapt and learn so many different teaching styles, so many different areas of the game, you know, because you're coaching so much in special teams. That it makes you a better position coach too. Because you don't see life so much through a straw. You start to see things a little bit more through a scope.
So how does that translate to the entire? How do you